What's up guys, Danny here from XL Automation, here with Daniel Weber. He's going to be going over a little bit of the sensor modes that come with the Hyde Park Telemecanique VM series ultrasonic sensors. Daniel, what we got for us?
Yeah, so I'm talking about the setup, a couple different setup techniques, as you mentioned, of our VM series sensors from Hyde Park Telemecanique. As I've talked about in some of our other videos, the VM series is available in either an 18mm barrel or a dual mount housing like this. Some of the unique capabilities or features is that we have no adjustments on the sensor, as you'll notice, but we have this inline push button. So you set up the sensor with the inline push button. Once you're done, remove the button from the line, and the sensor's 100% tamper-proof.
Okay.
Yet, the appropriate person needs to adjust it. They simply stick the button back in the line.
And this is just unique to this VM series?
This works with a couple of our other series of this push buttons, but it's primarily used in our VM series
Awesome.
sensors.
Very cool.
So right now I'm going to show you that not only can we pull the sensor off the shelf and as we've talked about in some of our other videos, select it normally open or normally closed with the push button. We can set up a sensing window with the button, but we can also change the mode of operation from diffuse mode to background mode, and I'm going to show you how to do that.
Okay.
So the first and kind of primary mode of operation is the diffuse mode, or as it's often called, proximity mode. To do that, I'm simply going to hold the button in until the LED flashes green. After that, I release it, and I'm going to show the sensor the two window limits on the target. So let's say this is my target. I'm going to, now that the LED is flashing green, I'm going to show the sensor the first window limit and hit the button. Then I'm going to move the target closer to this point, let's say, and push the button and release and wait for it to time out. I just set up a sensing window around the target from this point to this point, as you can see. Okay? All right, so this is called the Prox mode or the diffuse mode. And in the proximity mode or diffuse mode, we're subject to incident angle to the target. So right now I'm perpendicular to this target, and I'm seeing it no problem. As you can see, the light is amber, and meaning my output's on, right? But as I do this, you'll notice what starts to happen. We'll get some flickering, and then ultimately we'll lose right there. The target is still in front of my sensor, but I'm not sensing it. The output is flickering, and I'm not seeing the target because what's happening is the sound is hitting this target and bouncing away and not returning back to my sensor. Okay, and that could be a problem because targets come in all different incident angles, types, and dimensions, and shapes and sizes, and it can be a problem. The next mode of operation to solve the problem that I just showed you is what we call the background mode. Same sensor, okay, same target. Now what I'm going to do is set up my sensing window around this background target. Okay. Not around the target that I'm trying to sense. Okay? So to do that, I simply hold the button until the LED flashes green again. Okay? After that, instead of setting up a big sensing window, I double click the push button while looking at the target. And what it just did is it set up a default window plus or minus a ½ inch around that background. So what's happening here is the sensor's looking for a return echo from the background. Now I put my target that I want to sense in front of that background, and it blocks the return view of the background. Okay. So the major advantage is I am now sensing this target completely independent of incident angle to the target, right? So not only am I sensing when I'm perpendicular, but I can put this thing at a unfavorable angle, and it's still, the target I want to sense is still blocking my return view of the background. So we call that the background mode, and it's the same sensor can operate in the diffuse mode or the background mode. It's just a matter of how I set it up. So it becomes very versatile when I pull this off the shelf, and I can not only change the sensing window limits, I can not only, as we talked about in other videos, invert the output from normally open to normally closed, but I can also have the sensor operate in either the proximity mode or the background mode.
All right, very cool. So in what industry would this be like the most handy?
Yeah, so the industry, it could be used in many different industries, but really the application is when you need to sense your target reliably independent of incident angle to the target. Okay. Right, as I demonstrated. Let's say you have a round target and you need to sense it from leading edge to trailing edge. On a round target, we're only going to get a return echo in the Prox mode off of the high point or the center line of a round target. But if I need to see a round target from leading edge to trailing edge, and I set up in the background mode, a round target, a bottle, for example, will block the returning view of the background from leading edge to trailing edge.
Okay.
It also works good for line backup detection in the bottling industry and many other type of applications.
Very cool. Dan, thank you so much for all of that. And guys, if you want to learn anything else about the sensors that we have in stock here at XL Automation, feel free to like, follow, and subscribe across all socials. We're posting more videos just like this. Thank you guys so much for watching.